Highs in St. Cloud on Wednesday are going to hover around 60 degrees and parts of the state could hit 70 degrees. That hasn't happened since October 2018. Well, April 15th is fast approaching, and that means it's tax season again. And with over 6 million Americans already filed for taxes as of February 1st, 2019, it's sure to be another busy season. And with 1 to 2 inches of rain falling between Tuesday and Thursday, transitioning into snow Thursday night, the National Weather Service has issued a flood watch for much of our area. As the seniors move out, the freshmen move in. Some people have had 4+ years experience here at St. Cloud State, so I took to Atwood and I asked a couple of people a couple of questions. Just about everywhere in Minnesota saw some rainfall Sunday into Monday. St. Cloud saw about ½ inch of rain on Monday, and that means that rivers are going to be rising again. The question still remains, how much will the rivers rise and how long will flooding exist? If you've had any experience at St. Cloud State University, those chimes have become second nature. If you're not familiar, those bells ring out every half hour on campus. Just one of many symbols representing the rich history of this university. But perhaps the biggest legacy at SCSU are the students. And with graduation fast approaching, there will be a new turn home. As the seniors move out, the freshmen move in. Some people have had 4+ years experience here at St. Cloud State, so I took to Atwood and I asked a couple of people a couple of questions.
The more involved you are in, I think you can also meet more people and also make more friends.
I would say to make sure that you focus on your schoolwork but have fun at the same time. Okay. I didn't make any new friends in college, and I think that's probably something that I regret. I focused a little too much on my work.
College is tough, but life is tougher. Study hard, play hard, and make your experience meaningful and memorable. With UTVS News, I'm Hunter McCullough. The world is full of people. People with different backgrounds, stories, and perspectives. You may have heard of an organization called Humans of New York, which is an organization that specializes in telling those diverse stories. Savannah Pearson is a senior at St. Cloud State University who is a communication studies major, and she had an eye-opening experience.
One time I was at the mall and I was just like driving past, and I saw this guy and he was like rapping to his music, just really like out there, and just I looked at him and was just like in my head just really negative, like why would you do that? Like that's something I do in my bedroom, like in front of my mirror.
She may have been fast to judge, but she quickly changed her perspective.
I realized while I was sitting there that he totally has like a story that I don't know anything about, and if I were in his shoes, I probably would do the same thing.
She decided to approach the man and ask him a couple questions, and she learned a lot about his hardships and struggles.
A friend of his dying that he was really close with, and just family member issues, and he was in foster care, and basically it absolutely broke my heart.
So she set out on a mission. Inspired by Humans of New York and Humans of Minneapolis, she created her own organization.
There's a Humans of Minneapolis, which I've met with the founder of that, which is Stephanie Glaros. And her page now has like 70,000 likes on Facebook. And she just turned it into a nonprofit organization. And then I was really happy to find that Humans of St. Cloud didn't exist yet. So then I decided that it would be really cool to have one here as well.
As far as the future goes, Savannah has some big plans.
I'm eventually going to want to actually be able to act on some things that are needed around St. Cloud, and so yeah, I think my plan is kind of to push it towards maybe a nonprofit organization.
But there's one vital, central message attached to this organization.
I think I would just encourage people to really take it to heart, not judging other people, and actively listening to somebody else that you don't know.
With UTVS News, I'm Hunter McCullough. Typical Minnesota winter weather involves cold temperatures, difficult road conditions, and of course, snow. But this season we've seen quite a bit of cold and snow. Rodney Kubesh is a meteorology professor at St. Cloud State University, and he explains why we've been seeing this persistent pattern of snow and cold.
No, what's happening is we've got this persistent cold air mass sitting over like the north part of the continent, and then it's warmer to our south, of course. And then we're close to that boundary between them. And then anytime normally we get the little disturbances traveling along the boundary. They're in fact produced by the boundary. And any one of those can provide enough rising air to give us a chance of snow, either a little or a lot like we saw this past weekend.
Students are also being affected by the weather. Randy LeBeau attends SCSU, and she's not a big fan.
For the most part, mostly because then I have to get up earlier and work on my car, like start it earlier and like scrape off the things, and that's really tricky for me some mornings.
That's not a lot of fun.
No.
Others have a different opinion. Andre Brown also attends SCSU, and he embraces the weather. What's your opinion on all this past snow and cold we've been having for the past, seems like a month or so?
I mean, it's Minnesota weather, so we're kind of used to it going into, March. If it's still like this after March, though, I'll be kind of upset.
You're not going to be a fan after March?
Not after March, no.
In the end, however, the snow and cold defines us as true Minnesotans. Well, let's start with a live look up in Ely, Minnesota, where clouds have dominated the region for most of the day. Clouds have definitely moved into the region, but temperature-wise, very nice right now, 68 degrees with plenty of clouds in the area. East-southeast winds 7 miles per hour, humidity at 76%, and the pressure is at 29.91 inches of mercury, which has actually risen in the past couple of hours, and that signifies that a low-pressure system is moving out of our region, and we have some high pressure coming into our area. Yes, folks, good evening. It has been snowing quite a bit for the past 12 hours. We've seen some accumulating snowfall over the past 12 hours, and as you guys said, St. Cloud State University just announced that they are going to be canceling classes after 4 p.m. today. So stay aware, stay up to date, and stay safe out there if you do have to go outdoors. St. Cloud is under a winter weather advisory right now. Off to our east, there's a winter storm warning, and off to our west, there's a blizzard warning. So plenty of weather around our area going on right now. So around 5 o'clock p.m., we are going to start to see that system make its way into southeastern corner of Minnesota. Some of that could be freezing drizzle and freezing rain for the first little bit, but that's going to quickly transition into snowfall. By about 10 o'clock, we're going to see most of the southwest or southeast corner of Minnesota engulfed in that fairly heavy snowfall. If we continue on the early parts of Sunday, we're going to start to see it make its way out of the region, and by Sunday mid-morning, we're going to see pretty much clearing skies, and then our temperatures are actually going to fall. They're going to start to plummet, and it's going to be below zero by the time Sunday comes to an end. The main concern with Sunday is the blowing winds, but I'll get to that in just a second. Snowfall totals, we're going to see 9 to 12 inches in this area right here. We're pretty confident in that area.